So this manga highlight is Nightmare Inspector by Shin Mashiba. So this series is currently complete at 9 volumes. It was published from 2001 to 2009. And it's released in English by Viz Media from 2008 to 2009. I believe it currently still is in print, but there's probably not too many volumes left. You can get it on Amazon. So kind of the background. So basically you have the main character here, Haruko, who stays at the Silver Star Tea House. He's a Baku. Basically, people come to him when they have nightmares, and he goes into their nightmares to kind of interpret their problems to help clear up their nightmare in exchange for their nightmare, which he eats. You meet some of the other main characters, such as Mizuki, which is the sister of Azusa, who Hiroko mysteriously took his place at the Silver Star Tea House. And then later you meet Hifumi, which is this kind of rich boy who also loves Mizuki. So there's not very much romance in this series. It's more of a psychological story. Most of the volumes contain individual episodes of him going into the nightmare and solving their problems, which is, if you ask me, the highlight of the series. The overarching plot isn't that great, and it gets really confusing kind of near the end, and it wraps up very quickly. The background art is quite detailed. I believe that's kind of the best part. It's very heavily in blacks. Very good overview. The character designs are pretty simple but attractive. Sometimes the characters are hard to tell, though, the difference in the two. The characters are pretty one-dimensional. You don't really get very much character development. The main character, Haruko, is pretty one-dimensional, which there's some reasoning behind that mentioned later. Now, would I recommend this series? I would say yes if you like psychological horrors that are more like about individual stories rather than plot lines. The quality of the individual stories varies greatly depending on what you kind of look for in a short story, and kind of like the punch at the end, kind of the conclusion. You can sometimes kind of guess what's going to happen in there, but most of the time sometimes it just comes out of the blue with very subtle hints. But the ending isn't very rewarding. Shin Mashiba hasn't created very many volumes or series that are known. They just recently come out with a volume of Yokai Rental Shop 2, which I'll hopefully be talking about later, with very similar art design. But yeah, so the highlights are the short stories. The overarching plot isn't that interesting, but I think it is definitely worth a read if anything else.